All right, what's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. Hope everybody had a great week. Got some new additions to the studio. We've relit the old Trump sign. Back at it. 3 days before the election. Tuesday is coming up. 2 more days. It's going to get exciting, I can tell you that. It's already getting exciting, in fact. How are you doing? Everybody doing well? Everybody's checking in. I got my cozies on. It's back. It's back to cold again. A little cold, a little chilly today. So I have my hat, keeping my head warm, the dome warm, and got my nice, comfy Proud Boy shirt on. Proud Boy plaid, I've been told it's called. Who knows? But we're gonna have some fun. I got a lot to talk about. Got a lot of interesting things. We're going to talk about some of the LA nonsense, the mayhem that's been going on in LA with the Dodgers winning, and some other stuff that happened overnight that we're gonna see if you guys get the same takeaway that I got or suggests. It suggests, but so we'll talk about that, and then we're going to talk about deceptive Democrats, deceptive, delusional, just downright awful people. The party of joy is not really that joyful, as it turns out. They're mostly just a bunch of children, is what it looks like to me, that have to be deceptive in order to try to win an election, which I think at this point probably is already decided with the early voting, I would imagine. I haven't voted yet. I plan on voting on Tuesday when I get done working. So we'll see. You know, I'm curious to see what it looks like over at the polling station, right? Hopefully you guys have voted or getting ready to vote. Nobody's sitting this one out. Too important. Way too important. Prince Edward Island. Wow. What a great place. What's up, door knocker? Gra, our favorite mods are here. I appreciate y'all being here. Laura Woodside joining us. Thank you very much for being here. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna see what this brings. Let's start with some Dodgers fun, shall we? Check this out. Oh, a little tied in. This is a Dodgers fan, an uneducated Dodgers fan, making sure everybody know where the Dodgers are. Celebrating the World Series, right? I thought this was kind of funny because all the kid had to do is really look down on his shirt just a little bit. Check that spelling. There was a lot going on with the Dodgers winning the World Series. Some of you might have seen my live streams in the past where I've been out there on the streets as they've celebrated and shown what what wonderful LA people they are, protesting. Oh, wrong place. So then, let's see here. There was this. This was from downtown LA area. So this was some sports store. It might have been Nike or whatever, but you know, they had to celebrate with some looting. Looting is always important. This is from a wonderful account called Clown World. Pretty much sums up what's going on here. You know, nothing like winning the World Series and showing the world, you know, what kind of fans you are. They sure do, Boxer Heather. They absolutely do. They absolutely do. Then from this account, Mr. Gunslinger, this is interesting. This was a video. This guy here, this is, you're not really going to see anything, but he's lighting off a firework. It looked like it was a round mortar that he had in his hand, and it went off. Because, that's what they do in LA, right? Safety with fireworks is not the number one concern. So that was interesting. The comments that follow were almost better than everything. Firecrackers are illegal in California. Yeah. Mainly because of the fire danger. But it's good stuff. Celebrating the Dodgers is always important. Doing it safely is more important. What's going on in that park? How are you tonight? Susan says natural consequences. It definitely is natural consequences. There's actually another angle to that video that somebody from the other side of him shot. And you can literally see what he's doing is he's got this ball of fireworks, and it's got a very short fuse on it. And he's trying to light the fuse. But honestly, what it looks like is the flame may have just gone right inside of the firework and went off without any warning to him whatsoever. And so he lost most of his left hand in that. And then it looks like he might have lost a finger or two on his right hand. But, I don't like to see people suffer. But if you could see in the video, like, they have tagged up windows, they've spray painted all over the place. And we'll get to some more of that, because not everybody celebrated the same way, obviously. Most don't, right? Here is an account called Sean Beckner Carmichael. He was formerly known as a Cat with News. He's one of the left-wing protesters, journalists, propaganda people. But Sean wanted you to know that at Far Bar, where he was, a lot of Dodger fans have assembled. Edward James Olmos is here, so he's slinging some celebrity names, and this is one of those high class places where they celebrate like Dodger fans, right? But then he also has some more. He does end up showing some of the violence that was occurring out on the street. Obviously, that's not. But he wanted to show you the quality protesting, or quality the Party of Joy. New York just lost to the Dodgers, right? This is, I'm not a sportsman. I like motorsports, for those of you who know me know that. But like, this is poor sportsmanship in my book. Really? Fuck New York? You won. Take the win, right? Be gracious about the win. But Dodger fans aren't really like that, from what I've seen. My experience. And then, eventually he gets into the police. Like, these left-wingers, they want to blame the police for everything. There's no personal responsibility at all. And so in some of this, you'll see, especially from LA Taco. LA Taco wants to paint a narrative that it's the police that did this, right? It's not the responsibility. It's not the work of the protesters, the rioters, whatever. You know, it's always the police that did, you know, that started all this. Crowd moving, setting off fireworks through Los Angeles, illegal, right? When I was out, what was it, 2021, I think? Trying to remember back when the Lakers won the national championship, and I had my scanner with me. I'm listening to it in my ear as I'm out walking through the crowd, and I'm hearing on the scanner that the police want to make sure that people have the ability to celebrate. They also want to keep it legal. So the street takeovers and some of the things that were occurring, and you know, you'll get an example of that here in a little bit with something that happened from last night. But you know, they wanted to make sure that people could celebrate, but they were going to do it legally. And so that's one of the things that brings in the officers. They have to be there for safety. But you know, people prove that they can't be left to their own actions. They need this supervision, because they just destroy the city. They paint it up, they break the windows. That's what I've witnessed. That's what I documented in my live stream. You know. So like when the Lakers won, you had sheriffs, you had highway patrol, you had LAPD. They were all down and they were trying to deal with the crowds. And for some reason, these crowds in LA don't like buses. They want to destroy buses. I can't. Why? What are we burning? Oh, right. More fuck New York. What was that? Oh my goodness. I hadn't seen that. I didn't look through all of this. But horseback. Just saw the new movie Reagan. It's really good, worth watching. Well, that's good to hear. That is really good to hear. I saw a great interview with the lead actor. What's his name? Man, I had to call that one up real quick. I couldn't. Dennis. Dennis? No. Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid. Pardon me. Playing Ronald Reagan. It was an interesting. It was an interesting interview. I forget who was doing the interview. I don't know if it was Rogan or I can't remember who I was listening to. Press. Where do you want me? Just get the fuck out of the way. LAPD firing less lethal munitions and showing World Series demonstrators downtown as things are getting intense. Traffic struggling to get ahead of the mounted LAPD units. Yeah, because all those people are driving into downtown into these riots to celebrate, just like they did with Lakers. Now they do this all over town. The last like go home. But it's the police officer's fault. So I went out to the Valley when I was there, and they won 2 years ago, and it was a joyous celebration until it got out of control, and the police had to come in, and you know, as soon as they won, everybody came out of their homes, got in their cars, got out in these areas. Fireworks are going off. One store, at least, broken into between 6th and 7th Broadway and Dodgers at the Dodgers World Series downtown celebration. So apparently there was some arrests made because the officers showed up and people were inside this building. Maybe it's not this video, but I had not realized they had made some actual arrests. This is one of the buses that was attacked. Check that out. Oh, I'm absolutely sure of it. Wait until you see the next little bit that we're going to talk about. I'm sure you've seen it. We're going to... Rick B. Interesting spam. Very interesting spam. We did. We just kind of showed part of that. I got to be careful how much of that we show. But yes, we saw a dude get his hand blown off because he's not smart with the fireworks. So that's one of the buses. And then Silver Lake, I don't know if he's got it in here. I've got it on the next. This was weird. This guy's a little strange. Blue men painting on the street during the World Series celebration here in downtown. Not sure what was going on there. It was a little on the strange side. He was painting the street, and then the police officers show up, and they're trying to move the crowd out. And by the way, at this point in time, when you're there, you know you're not supposed to be where you're at. You've been told to leave. There is no fucks given by the officers at this point. They are absolutely going to get you to leave the area. And what I found was like these crowds, they shift, right? And if they don't have enough, the officers don't have enough. So this is an interesting little tidbit. The officers, LAPD officers with the longer nightsticks, they're like the tactical team, like what you'd call SWAT, SRT. Sean pushing back on the police. We are immune to the dispersal orders. Things getting quiet. So let's go back here. This was Silver Lake. This was quite a fire. Pull this up here. This was that bus that was burning on Sunset down in Silver Lake. Here's my favorite film, The Police, LA guy. Sitting and watching. But it's the police's fault. You know, the LAPD, they set the bus on fire, right? Pretty remarkable. And, you know, I don't expect that the crowd could really do anything. You know, it's not something you can fix while you're there. But it's more the fact that all these people are involved, whether they lit the fire or not. You know, it all leads to it. Blue guy was stealing Nikes too. No kidding, Red. Teresa, that was one of the tweets I put out a little while ago because Kamala Harris was asked about how she voted on, was it 26 or 36, which would bring back law and order to California through criminal activity sentencing, making shoplifting illegal again, right? I haven't looked into it, but it was interesting how she responded to the question being asked, and she didn't want to say, but it's a lose question for her either way, because you're going to have half of the voters hating on you either way, right? We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been burning. Telescope going to his soundtrack. But these are your folks here, Telly. These are your peeps. Do you disagree with that? You know, there's two sides to this country right now. The side of law and order, the Trump supporters. And before you say January 6th, still the group of law and order, most of which complied with anything they were told by Capitol police officers, right? And then you have the party of joy and mayhem, which this is the mayhem portion of that party. And we're going to get to more of that, more of the nonsense that's allowed to happen in Los Angeles. And we'll see if you have the same take that I had on that. These are some of the things. Let's first go to this. This is what I call the Liz Rupar, because this is
You even need to call it fire department. He's quite explicitly and unambiguous.
let me let's hold on to this for a second. So some of you may have seen, may not have seen what took place. So Liz Cheney here says, this is how dictators destroy free nations. They threaten those who speak against them with death. We cannot entrust our country and our freedom to a petty, vindictive, cruel, unstable man who wants to be a tyrant. So do this. If you saw this and you know what it's about, put a 1 in the chat. Because I'm curious how many of you know or have seen this story. You know, was this story within your purview over the last couple of days? This happened, 2 days ago? No, Teresa, I did not. If you got a clip, send it to me on Twitter. X. I still can't get past that. So a few of you had this pop up. Do you know what was really said? Let's see, because here's the clip that I don't know if you've heard me use the term Rupar. Rupar is an edited clip cutting out the context of what's being said to frame a narrative. So watch this Rupar as it happens here. Let me get the volume up a little bit.
Blame him for sticking with his daughter, but his daughter is a very dumb individual, very dumb. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face. You know, what will we do?
All right. So how many of you understood what he was talking about? She's a war hawk. Put her there. And even Rupar says, let's put her with a rifle standing there. Put her in war. She's a war hawk. She wants these pointless wars. And Trump's saying, all right, cool. Let's give her a rifle and send her out to battle. And have those 9 barrels pointing at her. And see how she feels about war. But Liz Cheney, as part of this delusional Democrat Party, even though she's a Republican, supposedly, can't understand something very basic. So Jason Rantz out of Pacific Northwest, he was a news anchor, doing great work. Watch the whole clip.
A lot, actually.
Here's the whole clip.
Is it weird for you to see Liz Cheney, that'd be Dick Cheney's repulsive little daughter, running against you with Kamala Harris?
Well, I think it hurts Kamala a lot, actually. Look, she's a deranged person. But the reason she couldn't stand me is that she always wanted to go to war with people. I don't want to go to war. She wanted to stay in Syria. I took them out. She wanted to stay in Iraq. I took them out. I mean, if it were up to her, we'd be in 50 different countries. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face. You know, they're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy.
Yeah.
But she's a stupid person. And I used to I'd have meetings with a lot of people, and she always wanted to go to war with people.
They cannot let you.
Okay, what's their biggest concern right now if you're the Harris team?
They cannot let you see the truth, because I believe you would see the truth. You would understand the truth, and you would understand what this man's running on and what he's doing. And the reason why that sign is lit up behind me, it's not complicated. It's a matter of truth and decency. So we'll come back here. We'll put this back up because this clip sums up the day. Colin Rugg does a great job over on X. Journalist,
out from
watch
election
this.
And for
This is how the mainstream media covered this event. I don't even know what to call it anymore, because it's nothing but a fabricated lie by Democrats. Watch.
I don't think you even need to call it fired upon. He's saying quite explicitly and unambiguously that Liz Cheney should be shot, should be executed by firing squad.
4 days out from Election Day, and former President Donald Trump is escalating his
This is
violent
why my
rhetoric,
neighbor across the
suggesting
street
one of his most prominent critics
voted for Kamala Harris, because he's been
Liz
fed this
Cheney
bullshit
should be fired upon.
Your reaction to
by mainstream
what Donald
media,
Trump said
TikTok.
about Liz Cheney.
He loves TikTok. He loves watching all the the fakeness come out of TikTok.
Completely inappropriate, dangerous, and unbecoming of a leader. Mr. Trump was literally going after someone who doesn't agree with him. So you shouldn't be.
Keep in mind, this woman in the blue, she doesn't work for CNN, right? So they bring on these fucking heads, and this knucklehead in the red and blue tie allows her to say these things when I'm sure he knows damn well it's not true, right? That is the deception. They're not responsible for what their guests say.
Surprised when people come on TV and feel the need to agree with him.
Has 9 barrels. When he says 9 barrels shooting at her, that obviously evokes images of a firing squad. It evokes images of an execution.
Let's execute a political opponent who happens to be a woman because I don't like her. And like, does that poll more low propensity voters in his coalition? The polls?
Do they?
I honestly don't think so.
And I don't blame him for sticking with his daughter. But his daughter's a very dumb individual, very dumb. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it.
And for those of you in the chat who are left-wing, Democrats, whatever, that support a person like Kamala Harris, a person who's part of that party, which allows the deception and the divisiveness to continue. This isn't new, right? This has been going on since 2016. You're right, Lynn. Right? Yeah, it's unbelievable, but it continues to this day, and this is the fight that we're in, right? This is the fight that is going on. And so you got Rupar, Molly Hemingway, fantastic person, right? Says, wow, I'm so shocked that propagandist Rupar cut it before this line. They're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops into the mouths of the enemies. She always wanted to go to war with people. Viva Frey? I forget how you say that. Calls out Rupar. I think I had more of that. There were accounts all over X 2 days ago pushing this narrative. Yeah, I've heard that discussed over and over again, Teresa. Something we have to thank Obama for. And then the deception continues with the Trump mic. Do you guys see this? So this is the way deceptive Democrats try to build this narrative. Put a 1 in the chat if you know what really happened. Hell, if you know what happened, type it into the chat. I'm curious. How many of you saw this? Like I saw these clips floating around and I was like, I'm not buying this. This is a little too on the nose. You know, nobody running for president is going to make, as this person, Donk says, fellatio on his mic. 20 minutes of mic trouble. That's absolutely correct, Kit Kat. Kit Kat's with it. She knows what's going on. It's the party of joy is not the party of truth or honesty, which is amazing to me because they're the narcissists that want you to believe they are the morally and the decent let's see. I gotta miss something here real quick. Oh, interesting. Okay, now I see it. Let me check this account real quick. Go to channel. How long ago do you think this was created? Oh. Let me do this. September 5th, 2024. Genevieve Abbott. Like, don't ever assume anybody is who you think they are, right? So for those of you did Genevieve ever claim to be somebody? Genevieve says he's making an analogy to prove his point. It was a stupid one. The hypothetical shouldn't have been made, especially knowing there are right-wing radicals out there. Actually, no. Most of the radicals are not right-wingers. You would like to claim they are. But the problem is from everything I've seen, the right-wingers are the defenders. The attackers are left-wing. Left-wing people tried to kill the man twice, right? So I'm not sure, like, you want to make this argument that you can't prove. It doesn't exist. And the people who stand up for the true democracy, the republic that we live in, Seriously? This is definitely G. Abbott. There's no doubt about that. I get it. You can see it. You know what the tampons in the boys' bathroom. Boys don't use tampons, G. There's no reason for them to be in there. It shows how stupid this country has become when a vice presidential candidate is voting to put something that boys do not need into a bathroom. That's why. Do they control all media? Well, they seem to control the mainstream media. It's been documented that 75% of the newsrooms across this country, CNN, MSNBC, CNBC, CBC, well, CNBC is Canadian, all Democrats, or more than 75%. That includes Google, Yahoo News. So do they control it? Seems that way. There's your question answered. Funny you never answer questions. How can you expect an answer? Who's asking you questions? I wasn't asking questions. Gee, that's the funny thing. What party did the two shooters that tried to assassinating Trump belong to? The Democrat Party. That was pretty much determined, right? But I would imagine if you've been watching your mainstream media, that may not have been clear to you, but it is. Gee. Can we answer any more questions before I continue on with what I was talking about? Because we're going to talk about fellatio and microphones and sort of the G. Abbott view of what this looks like. Let's get back to it. This fertilizer finder, it's kind of funny because he's like, he doesn't realize he has the mic, but he knows he's got the mic. But again, edited. Wait a minute. Where did I? Let me pull that up over here because it's fun. I should have had this ready because I forgot that Donald J. Trump. Let me mute that out. But I got to get to the right one here. Donald J. Trump. And then live. This was at stop. They changed the player. There it is. The X is not on the left corner anymore. But I do like the new YouTube mini media player. It now has the buttons at the bottom. I don't know if you guys have noticed that update came in. Kind of cool. I think it may have just happened in the last day or so. I know that's not Tommy Temper, but he says, "What is wrong with blowing a mic? Did you ever watch me with eating food?" Like Paul's last channel. I don't know who this is, but that's pretty damn funny. Let me get this up so I can it was Milwaukee. 31 minutes in, and Trump is
I don't think so. Hello? Is that better? Is that better?
He's frustrated. And you can go and watch this. It's on the Donald Trump YouTube channel. And it's the Milwaukee speech from yesterday, the day before.
Terrible. Is that better back there?
They're having a hard time hearing in the back of the
Yes or no?
Stadium.
What crap. The only thing I asked for is a mic.
They treat
You don't have to give. I don't even need a stage. I don't give a damn. Give me a good mic. And I went through two of these today, and it knocks the hell out of your throat. But so far I'm doing okay, right? Okay. Is that better? Yeah. And did you notice I came in today.
He was pissed off, and it was
this is after four of these things. I did no fairness. I mean, I'm a human being, right?
Because if you look closely, see how the podium is so low? Trump is what, 6 foot something? See where the microphone is located, and the holder for the microphone is really low. That's what he's responding to. That's what he's responding to in the clips. So watch.
I come in, and here's the problem.
See how tall he is? The microphone's down low. That podium needs to be a foot higher. So he's going, hey, I'm talking to the mic. It's down there. You're going to have me bending over the entire time.
Way too low.
It's not even sexual. Democrats, the party of decency, they claim, are deceptive. They're not good people. They're not joyous people. They're deceptive pricks, and that's all they've got. Do they know that, if they're honest, that there's no chance in hell they would win a damn thing? Then his back hurts. You're absolutely right. All of those things, right? They can't be honest, Make fun of the fact that some knucklehead didn't plan for the height of the man and couldn't get his fucking microphone tall enough. Be honest about it. Let people go, it looks like he's blowing the microphone. Let people have the filthy mind that are going to have the filthy mind. But that is what they want to project, though. They want to project something very different. They want to be able to have these, they want to be able to have these moments where they can do this, Like, how many trucks do you think Trump gets into? Right? He missed the handle. Now, I don't know if this one's edited or real. But I get it. Dude's got 70 years? He looked like he did a little bit of a dance trying to grab that handle. I've done it before. But, the party of joy, they just hate him, right? They absolutely hate him. They hate him. And you go back to 2016. You go back to the very first impeachment. You go back to all the nonsense, all the bullshit this country's dealt with for the last coming up on 8 years now. It's how you get a January 6th. It's how you get all the division in this country. They know what they're doing. They actively do these things. This country will not be any different. Yeah, grabbing the door handle probably is real. But does that change anything? Right? He missed the door handle. How many trucks do you think the guy gets into? Gee. He's probably ridden in more trucks than you, right? If it were 8 months ago and it was Biden WYSIWYG TV, yeah. Biden fucking fell down the stairs of Air Force One, right? Tragic. He missed a handle. Do you think that's going to have any sort of, I don't know, on the job he's going to do? I love that Giabbett. Hey, Giabbett, you want to join me? You're more than welcome to. Have a little face-to-face time. I think it'd be good fun. It's 4:30. This is all because they have their JB tumbled the yeah, right. Right. Giabbett, what do you think the next 4 years are going to look like? I'm curious. I'm really curious. And he fell up the steps. Yes, he did. Yeah, Democrats telling us he's sharp as a tack, gaslighting the shit out of people. But you know what, G? I don't see anybody with better ideas. Because guess what? The American people have voted and voted for one of the two candidates. They didn't vote for her. The Democrats voted for Joe Biden. They got behind their boy Joe. Now you got her in there who never got a single vote. She was the least popular Democrat candidate back in 2020. All right. She was the first one out. She blamed misogyny, but it was the Democrats who were voting in the primaries. So it wasn't the conservatives that were being misogynistic. It was the Democrats that were being misogynistic based on the rhetoric. They didn't like her. The Democrat Party didn't like her. The voters of the Democrat Party didn't like her. Good to hear you're doing well. I don't even think you're in the country, honestly. But I have my own theories about that, G. But honestly, I don't think you're in this country. But I'm sure you voted in this country, right? Doesn't matter if she's black, Indian, whatever. California is a disaster. Have we talked about this enough? I'll go and we'll talk more about California, right? So, what was the? We showed the rioting in Los Angeles over the win of the Dodgers, right? Let me pull up this video from last night. So this video is from last night. It's from a local streamer. And he was live out on the streets of Los Angeles, following around a group of street racers, takeover artists, whatever you want to call them. And they had gotten run out of an area. And this was about 7:30 my time. So it was like 4:30 in the morning, California time. Here's some of your beautiful California. This is your beautiful California for you. I know that there's beautiful parts of California, but let's be honest. Yeah, Trump is on fire. Let's be honest. Let's watch this. Let's watch that. This is not the right clip. This clip. Sorry. Let's watch this clip. That clip is going to lead us. They're driving the wheels off of these cars. Oh! That was uncalled for. Look at how lucky this kid is. Look at how lucky this kid is. Look at this outfit. What kind of mask face covering is that? That is not normally what you see. But look at how close this kid got to getting crushed by the front of the car on the light post, on the street light post. He got his leg up over the top. He might have gotten pinched in there just a little bit. It's so hard to tell. By the way, this video is from an IP2 streamer who was out on the streets. But look at where this kid's standing. This kid's lucky. Absolutely lucky that he did not get crushed there. So notice how the car is absolutely destroyed. We're going to go to this video here. And watch this, because this is my I'm watching this, and you've got these three cars here, and they've literally driven the tires off of these cars. You know, I'm watching this. It's 6. I got up at like 6:20 this morning. I actually slept in later than I would normally be getting up. Normally I get up at 3 a.m. So I slept until about 6:20 this morning. Got up, had my coffee, and I see this channel's live, and I'm watching him, and he's going about a half an hour, and he was at Randy's Donut. I think it was Randy's Donuts where they were first. Now they've moved to another spot, but they had been at Randy's Donuts near LAX, and and the police showed up, and everybody scattered and took off, right? And then he caught up to wherever they're at, and they show up here, and they've been here for 40 minutes and no police activity. And I'm just thinking, like, okay, maybe the police have decided we're gonna let them just do this. They're in an area, whatever. They hurt themselves. They do their thing. We don't care. At least they're not off doing other illegal activities. They're there. But then as I watched this video, and I ran off and left it screen recording because I was kind of surprised. Well, no, I'm sorry. I saw what happened, and I went back and I did a screen recording in case it disappeared. And so you have these three vehicles. Now, these aren't like the other vehicles. They literally drove the tires off of these cars. And it dawns on me, these cars aren't theirs. This one's in Los Angeles. Maybe we can see from the intersection at some point. You know, it's more of an industrial area of LA. It could be the Valley. They were at Randy's Donuts, which is kind of far away from the Valley. There's train tracks right here, so this could be Compton. They may have gone to Compton area. But let's see if we can find out. We should be able to determine from the street signs here. But so this car is done. That car is on its rims. So they have no intention of driving these cars anywhere. These are stolen cars. They're stolen vehicles that they're basically joyriding in. And nothing is being done about it, G. Gee, I know you try really hard. People drag race and things, right? You don't see how this is different. Really, G? You think that taking over the streets like this, an intersection, blocking traffic, at some point here, I think you're going to see a red pickup truck drive through. That may have been earlier, but some guy probably trying to go to work, right? He had to drive around and come in. But I get that you want to justify this somehow. Now they're just driving the cars into each other. It's demolition derby on the street. Right? This is not normal behavior. This isn't drag racing with your buddies on a back road. You get it, G? Sassy pants. Doesn't mean we've led a boring life. It means that we're mostly, I'm sure I did things in my past as a teen kid, but nothing like this. You know what I mean? Like stealing cars. I know you Democrats think that this sort of behavior is acceptable and it's just kids being kids, but it's not, because I think that, the other night, 2 people died in Oakland at a street takeover, right? I don't care personally. You know what I mean? Seriously. Just like the Dodgers kid losing his hand. Yeah, we learn tough lessons, right? But this is what Democrat-led cities, people like Kamala Harris, promote and allow to happen. Don't want to prosecute. So there used to be a time when if you got caught doing this, your cars were seized and crushed. If you were a street racer and you were doing this, you lost your vehicle. They don't do that anymore. Somebody fought to allow them to do this. I really don't get, G, why you want so badly to make this seem okay. You really, really will never get me to say that this is okay. This is the culture. The LA street scene. They street race Phoenix and Milwaukee. Then you have the Kia boys in Milwaukee that steal cars and race and wreck them. And they do get arrested when they catch them. Where is law enforcement for this? Why is this allowed to continue? By constantly trying to justify bad behavior, G. And the fact that they're so blatant about it, right? Like, who owns these cars? Who owned these cars? Who now doesn't have a car when they wake up in the morning and have to now find a way to get to work on Monday, right? This affects people, G. This is not a, what's the word I'm looking for? Now this stream ends very suddenly. You'll see the guy in the blue shirt walk across, and the stream comes to an end. And I don't know why. I'm not really sure what happened. But look, they're not going to clean up this mess. I know, bro. At some point, we're going to get tired of giving her attention, and I'll give you the word, and we'll just say goodbye to her for 24 hours. Or she could be an adult. Right? Buy an old beater, tear it up. Don't steal someone's ride. They worked hard. Yeah, right? But that would require money, and I'm guessing they don't have money. I get what you're trying to do, G. Did you do things like this when you were a kid? Did you steal cars and then leave them in a heaping wreck in the middle of an intersection in your neighborhood, right? That's what you're saying. The more you forget. No, I don't remember, or I don't forget. We threw water balloons at lawn crews. We also did it a couple times, and that was fun, and then you stop, right? Breaking the law back in my day, for me, was painting the rival football field, G. My thought of doing this, no, never once. But like, you know, I hear your buddies, I'm not going to name names, talk about doing bad stuff, all the drugs they do, you know, like, it seems like those who do not support Trump have this belief that these types of things are just fine. Oh, look, there's Charlie. Speak of the devil. See, Charlie stole cars and took them to the chop shop for cash. That was his money-making business. Charlie's a Democrat supporter, hardcore Kamala Harris supporter, hates Trump, has the TDS to go along with it. And he's telling you right there, he believes in this sort of criminal behavior that does not work. This lawlessness. Vote Trump. End this nonsense. It's not too late. It's not too late. There's a difference between doing stupid things and doing illegal things. We've all done stupid things. We learn from those lessons when we do stupid things. Gee, what's the last thing that you stole? What's your last criminal act? Meth-ridden rural areas love Trump. That's funny. You sure it's meth? Maybe not, you know, all the other drugs that are prescribed by the doctors, pharmaceuticals. I don't know. Far from a Dem, but you think that. Okay, well, tell me what you support, because you certainly don't support Trump. So did you vote for Kamala? Did you vote for her? Did you vote for the party of joy, Charlie? Joy and decency? Because fuck, Charlie, I've watched your shit. You are anything but decent or joyful. Charlie Cheswick has a channel, everybody. You can go check it out. He and his dipshit buddies, anonymous friends, so they say, have a good time making fun of Trump supporters. But that's, you know, the non-Trump supporting division of this country. They're not truthful. They're not honest. They will do and say whatever they have to. Oh, there's Al Munson. Mr. Freedom WYSIWYG begging for a bigger police state. I didn't beg for a bigger police state. I want the law enforced, especially for shit like this. I'm not asking for more. I'm just asking for the law to be enforced. But they can't. They don't, and they don't get prosecuted. When you stop prosecuting criminal behavior, you get Los Angeles. Oh, I know, Shelley. I know exactly who these people are. You can't vote. Oh. But you have a lot to say. Since you can't vote, why don't we just keep our mouths shut? Right? Because You don't have anything in the game. You're the very person, the very people. Maybe you should still be there, Charlie. Have you done your time? Have you, and who says you can't vote? I thought these states were allowing criminals to vote. Felons can vote, right? Hell, you can become president, Charlie, right? Gra, I'm not against having conversation, and I'm not against the naysayers. Trump supporting Daisy was drunk driving again. Okay, we've seen that, right? She says it's on her property, but what does that have to do with the stream? Proudly voted for Trump in 2024, Lori. Congratulations. Wizzy, do you know how the Electoral College works? Yes, I do understand how the Electoral College works. I don't know that Democrats do, because they think that our democracy should be rule of the most votes, right? If you can vote, you have 11 more right to complain because you can't vote anymore. If you can't vote, you have 11 more right. Al Munson, maybe you want to repost that. Delete that comment. Delete that comment and then come back with it. Maybe spelled out proper. It didn't make any sense. Oh, door knocker, promoting Charlie Cheswick. There you go. No voter card. Can't get one, but you know everything. Why can't you get a voter card? Enlighten me, Charlie. I can't actually be more happy that you can't vote. I'm really actually sort of elated inside, because do you understand the electoral is disproportionate? It is not disproportionate. It prevents these giant cities run by Democrats controlling what the rest of the country does. So no, it is not disproportionate. That is your belief, Al. That is the Democrats' belief. The Democrats also want to add D.C. as a state. They want to add Puerto Rico as a state. They want to do all this nonsense because they want to control elections. They want no voter ID. They want unsecure elections. Yes, Al Munson, say it again so that we can all hear you in the back, because thank you, Tara. I'm getting tongue twisted. I'm getting hungry. You know where I can find any good food, Tara? And if I could vote, I wouldn't vote for Trump. He ain't doing nothing for anyone in his own pocket. See, that's what you Democrats believe. That is a statement. That is an absolute statement. And I think you're funny for that. I don't know what's going on, but my iPhoto is not updating and bringing all my stuff in. Let me see if I can bring this up here. I should be able to. I forgot that I've got so many different ways to do this. Mind his own pockets, man. He's taken 2 bullets for this country, Charlie. You are a lying piece of shit, Charlie Cheswick. And I often wonder if your deception is, are you doing it on purpose? Like, do you really believe the things you say? That's what I'm curious about. Because I need some power here. Because I can't do that because that unplugs that. It'll be all right. It really is obnoxious. It's very disappointing. It's a fact. Do some research. It's not disproportionate. If you want to have mob rule, you have a true democracy. We do not have a true democracy. We have a republic for a reason. Wendy, Garamendi's family served on the Electoral College a few years back. That shouldn't have been served on the Electoral College. I'm sure that's true. Your place, definitely. There is no doubt. There is no doubt. Yeah. Shaza, I don't think Charlie's brainwashed. I really don't. I think he knows exactly what it is. I just don't. I don't believe anything Charlie Cheswick, Al Munson say, because I know so much of what they say isn't true that I don't know how to find any truth in what they do say, even if it is true, because they've proven to be untruthful so much. So I don't get it. Like, illegal gambling is like the crime of the century to some, so they don't give up that voter card, bro. Illegal gambling is like the crime of the century to some, so they don't give up that voter card, bro. Charlie, are you sober, man? I really don't understand. Like, maybe you could spell it out just a little bit more clearly, because it's nonsense, the stuff you're putting in chat. Nobody's booting you out. You got all the time in the world. Yo, WYSIWYG TV. So on another story, where you get that flannel, it looks soft, no cap. Soft, no cap. It's kind of soft. It's heavy. You know what I like that's kind of nice, Charlie? I had to wash it first because it was a little big. I like these kind of black linen insides. This is not an expensive shirt. It was a lovely Costco flannel for work because it's getting cold. But I like how it's got the, you can't really see it because they don't show up in the light. The black cuffs, right? And it's kind of a outer layer shirt. It's not the softest, but it is soft. It is soft. I'm glad you guys like my flannel. I appreciate the compliments. On my Shaza said, men wear flannel. Guys who work wear flannel. I like flannel. I'm a flannel kind of guy. He does need an Elmer Fudd hat. It's funny. For those of you who remember when we were in Wyoming on the wonderful trip across the United States with the truckers, I picked up a hat at the rope store. What the hell was the name of the rope store? I don't remember. That's kind of an Elmer Fudd hat. It's a red plaid. It just doesn't have the flip downs, right? I was thinking about those. Actually, I think the unicorn tried to get me to get a warm hat like that had the ears that come down. I wear this, like, this is my ideal. I like a small cap. And the reason I like one this side, and I don't wear it on stream because I know that, like, the naysayers will be like, oh, WYSIWYG wants to be like, what's his name? Tim Pool. I don't know if you notice, I don't have anything up here. My head gets really cold, especially in the winter. So this is how I wear my knit cap high so that my ears, right? My ears are out. I get a little cool breeze, right? If I get cold, I bring it down a little bit and I got a little warmth, but it's not bunchy. It's not itchy by any means. Pardon me. And that's how I roll in the wintertime. I like this style knit hat. I found this one in, I don't know, it's from a company called Bronner at this, there's this ELM shoes. It's not Elm, it's ELM shoes. So I've learned living here in Maryland that if you go to Pennsylvania for food and clothing, there's no tax. So this wonderful department store, Elm, up there, had these really great hats. And I found this one. I've been sort of in love with it. I got some PVC plastic from cutting some pipe the other day, stuck in it. But Definitely about comfort. I like comfort. Kind of care how I look. My father always told me, put on a suit. I can't afford LL Bean, Charlie. I'm, as you say, broke, right? I can't afford that fancy stuff. I can afford Sam's and Costco and the discount bin, Charlie. But, we won't bring up the fact that you are one of those people who supported, cancel culture and all that other good stuff. So, I've tried to listen to your rantings on your channel, Charlie, and trying to sort of get to know and understand you. I've learned things about you, none of which surprises me. You and I would not be friends. JFK wears Ralph Lauren flannels all the time. Ralph Lauren has some really nice looking flannel. There's no doubt. I stopped wearing the polo a long time ago. I do like their linen Oxford style shirts, the button down shirts. I do like those. Elman Greencastle, thank you. Yes, that is exactly it. Do I remember Butte, Montana? I've been to Butte, Montana. Was there something we did on live stream in Butte? I'm trying to remember which Butte was Butte. Help jog my memory, Lori. No sales tax in Oregon. I like that. I like the... Yeah, I didn't say you're a hood rat. I alluded to you being more of a criminal and making poor choices. Again, that's your framing. If that's what you think that means, maybe it does. Maybe you are. I don't know, Charlie. I hear you talk, and I know that just like Scott and I would not be friends. You and I would not be friends. Al and I definitely would not be friends. But I keep a very, I don't trust many people, Charlie, even though I'm a really trustful person. The inner circle's pretty tight. So, Terry Lynn, do they? Can you point to any of those people? Because I don't see that many people. You and Charlie are already friends. That's good. Al, you and I are not friends. Am I here to make friends? You know what? The funny thing is, Terry, I feel like some of the people in the chat have become friends. I've met a lot of really like Gra and Doorknocker and the people that I've come to know because of live streaming and whatnot. I consider friends. We're not traditional friends, but they're people that I care about, and we've shared sort of a bond, right? And so yeah, I've made friends, and I think that's oh, Al. You could only try so hard, Al, and you got to try a lot harder. And Bill the Baker. Bill the Baker's here. Somebody I don't know, but like I get excited when I see Bill the Baker's name show up in the chat. Many of you I get excited about. Then there's people like G that I go, fuck, she's here again. Got to deal with this nonsense. Like, can she be a real fucking person for a change? Maybe, we'll see. No, turns out she can't. Well, so random. You hate me so much, some of you, but yet here you are, and I give you the benefit of the doubt. EB used to be the shiz back in the day. Good, we're talking about stuff, but yeah. So it is. There are some friendships. There are definitely some friendships. So. Let me pull this up and see what else I had for us today. Let's do some random stuff. some random tweets, posts on X, some random posts on X. Vicky the Scientologist. Wizzy, it's me, LOL. Sorry, Vicky, I don't know who you are. I wish I did. So you can make jokes. If I don't get them, they're not jokes, nor are they funny, but I miss the patriotic feeling we had with the convoy. Yeah, right? It's funny. We've come along. We were talking about that the other day. A lot has changed. Who was it that just... was it some state employees that just got $1 million each in the lawsuit? What was that? Charlie, G, Al, do either of you know about that story? The true hate is a strong word. Who is on the hate tip? I don't know, Charlie. Who do you think is on the hate tip? Huh? But yeah, lots changed since the convoy. America's feelings about COVID and the handling of COVID, lots changed since then. A lot of people have woken up to what was going on, the effects, right? Decisions were made based on what people thought at the time. Bill doesn't like the topic of. It's funny, Bill, because when we talk about Scientology, it's because we're talking, specifically for me, talking about the anti-Scientologist protesters in LA, which, by the way, if anybody caught any of what was going on last night in LA, Scott got a little turnabout last night, and it was absolutely glorious to watch. Some First Amendment auditor named Sheep Show showed up and just fucking worked him over, and it was fun to watch. Scott was really uncomfortable. Gee, keep talking about fashion in the chat. You guys can bond over fashion. I haven't even shown you all of my new flannels. I got a couple new ones. Wait until you see them. You're gonna love them. You're gonna love them. You're gonna want to run out and get one for your man, your old man. You'll definitely want to do that. Dearest Wizzy, I've been with you since the convoy. You can consider me friendly, at least. I just don't comment. Love. Mary, I appreciate that. I was, Bunny. I was having a blast. You know why, Bunny? The funny thing is like, and I would imagine G or Al Munson might have that. I'm very respectful when I go into like Scott's chat, or I try to not act like the trolls that come in here. And I just point out something different, and I try to add to the conversation from my experience. And a lot of them have banned me, especially Scott, from his channels because he does not like to hear the pushback, especially with the claims that he makes about me. So when I do that, he don't like it, and then he's got to answer to his chat, and then his chat hasn't. So when these other streamers who are not about Scott, when you find them and you know that Scott's watching, or, you know, his chat is watching, it's fun to be able to be in their chats where I'm not going to get banned, right? For speaking my truth, as you would call it. So it's fun. It's an opportunity to be heard, whether they like it or not. Just like you guys are here listening to me in this conversation, you're having to hear me, or you've got the audio turned off and you're just playing the chat, which is fine, you know, whatever you're going to do. But your comments don't appear to actually be lacking the audio. So at least you're hearing me. And I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. And as I've shown, I'm actually willing to address those things that you guys bring up that may seem as though they're trolly comments. Did you watch AP at the Trump bus? No, I missed that. Was there something fun going on there? I know she was falling all over herself for the moment that I turned on. She was down in DC for Kamala's DC speech. And when I turned on for a minute, she really wanted to get some American flag pants. And wasn't she one of the ones that was crying about Trumplicans, MAGAs, getting the, disrespecting the American flag by wearing it? Isn't she one of those people that can't understand the difference between an actual American flag and a material printed to look like an American flag? Why don't you pull up in my chat, you more than welcome, Home Slice? Charlie, I'm trying to, like, one, you and I have spoken on live stream before, and I don't remember whose live stream it was, but you and I have spoken. You've proven to me that you're not capable of having a conversation. You're part of what I call the shout down crowd. And there's no conversation there. There's no learning from each other. There's no being respectful to each other. I've given you as much respect as I can possibly give you, because you've literally showed me none. So same with Al. Al, for half a second, had a reasonable conversation, and then as soon as he had the opportunity to, you're right, door knocker, Duluth does have great flannels. I cannot wait for them to open a Duluth store somewhere nearby here. But yeah, so it's okay. I hope that people see this stuff, but then I also realize that, most people aren't really paying attention. And a lot of these, I don't know, characters go back a long time. I wish I could remember off the top of my head when my first live stream was. But I know it was definitely prior to 2020. It was prior to the election. So at least 4 years now, I've had a channel and done live streams. But I don't think it's 5 years. I think it's about 4 years. Maybe. I don't think it was a year before. I don't know. COVID started someplace mid 2019. I learned about PT News while I was in the driveway of my aunt and uncle's in Kentucky, taking care of my uncle with Parkinson's during COVID, and started seeing the riot porn. The left wing of the political sphere in their black outfits up in Portland, attacking a federal building, right? The nonviolent left, the joyous people committing joy on federal employees, trying to kill them, burn them, right? That was 2019, 2018, something like that, right? Not a lot's changed since then. The riots in LA, the riots in Wisconsin, the Summer of Love. Yes. The Summer of Love, Fry. Chud Hub. It's funny because these days it's hard to tell which way you lean on that, because you may be embracing the Chud moniker, which I think is hysterical. Lisa, he passed away during COVID. I think it was after 2020. Parkinson's was really hard on him. He was a guy that I watched as I grew up, and when I first went out to California, I stayed with them because I didn't know anybody else in California. And when I was a kid, they had moved to California because he was a Fed and had. It's cool because he was actually part of the DEA before the DEA was the DEA, right? If you know the stories and whatnot. But I remember my aunt had a really great letter from the president back in I think it was before I was born. But she would tell me stories about coming home, because at the time they lived in Michigan, and he was working for DEA, or what was before the DEA. He didn't like talk about this stuff too much. He didn't like to tell too many stories. He kept it pretty close. But she told me this story after he had passed, where they had this apartment in Michigan near Detroit. Near Detroit. And she comes home one night and she sees all these drugs all over the kitchen table. And it turns out he had done like this drug deal, this undercover drug deal in her kitchen. And she was mad, she said. And my aunt, she's a really good church lady. One of the sweetest of church ladies. And she's talking about everybody has an Uncle Bob, right? And she was so pissed because she did not want this in the house. But they ended up moving to California, and he did a number of different special things with the government, and used to go after the bad drug dealers. He always had the coolest cars, because when they seized all their cars, they then used those cars to act like drug dealers. So he was a car guy. He like would run every morning. I forget, almost a marathon. He was a runner, really fit, but all of a sudden Parkinson's hit in, and it took a toll on him. And it was hard to see a guy who was sort of like that G-man. And I remember one time I asked her, I said, can I please get him some marijuana and to see if that will help him? And she wouldn't let me do it because of his work in the federal government and being so anti-drug. And I was like, I said to her, I guarantee he would want any relief he could get, and it's legal. And she's like, no, can't do it. So, but I would get him out of the house and take him for a walk and be like, oh, Bob, what do you want? I wanted a cheeseburger and a concrete. So I'd go to the, what do we call it? Starts with a C, blue and white sign. We don't have them here. But they're really good. And I would go get him a cheeseburger, and you'd have to feed it to him. But at some point, it was just simple. And so, but yeah, it's hard to see people go through that. We get that a lot. So, but whether you're G. Abbott or Door Knocker or Lisa or Chud Hub or Bill the Baker and Laura or Al Munson or Fry TV, we all want the same thing. I think we all want the best for everybody. The problem is how we're going about getting it is really fucking us up and causing quite a great amount of division. And we didn't used to do that. We didn't have the ability to do that. But now we got the internet, we got, live streams, and we've got all of these different ways of communicating with each other. And with great power comes great responsibility. And as I showed you tonight, Republicans can do it too, without a doubt. They have learned to play the game. And I feel like there's a little cause and effect. And I don't think I just noticed it coming from Democrats, and I hate the who started it bullshit. But, we got to this point for a reason. And if you can't be honest about how we got to this point, and it's okay if you don't like somebody, if you don't like something about somebody, but do it with honesty. Do it with integrity. Right? Don't be such a Democrat. I'm sorry. I can't help myself. We have been fed up for a long time, Laura. People were fed up when they went to D.C. on January 6th. They had had enough. Right? There's a laundry list. An absolute laundry list. If you can't confirm an election and verify an election and determine whether it was legitimate or not, either way, if you cannot show proof to either belief, whether you're Democrat, Republican, if we have absolutely zero way of determining that, then we have a problem. Door Knocker says White Castles. You can only push people so far. Right? It's how you get the Proud Boys. Right? You pushed conservatives far enough. You tried to silence them. You tried to shut them down, right? You tried to shut down Gavin McGinnis. You tried to shut down people you don't want to hear from, you don't like. Again, I didn't say that these are my buddies. I didn't say that these are people that I agree with. I just said that when you shut them down, this is what you get. You get pushback, right? And that pushback came in the form of men who believe themselves to be patriotic, which I agree, patriotic men, stand up for the Constitution and know that when you attack them, they absolutely have the right to defend themselves and attack back. So that's right. Going after them politically and using the courts to chill people. They arrested the leader of the Proud Boys. Wasn't even in D.C. Right? Wasn't even in D.C. Had nothing to do with it. Wasn't there. 20, 30 years in prison. Right? But yeah. Yeah. I think it started way before that. This video that we watched. Oh, wrong one. This video that we watched. Far worse. Far worse. But again, we can't have serious conversations when we can't be serious about the things we say. The gotchas, I want to scroll through AP's latest. Okay. I don't know if I can do that, Gra. It's hard to take. Enrique got 22 years. 22 years. Don't be such a Democrat. I look forward to rubbing it in their faces when Trump wins this year. No, I won't. I didn't do it the last time. I didn't do it in 2016. I didn't even collect the $100 bet that I won at work. Best Boy grip on the show that I was doing. That was the show called. It was the one about the dome. Aliens, LA, giant dome. I can't remember the show. But the Best Boy was so convinced Hillary Clinton was going to win the election. And, it started with, the lies, Trump lying, all these lies. And I remember one of the grips one day brought in like this New York Times page that had all these lies that Trump had told. And I was like, let's sit down and go through each one of these because, it's all rupars. It's all, context. So just watch it 55 minutes in 2 times speed with you thank me. Okay. I will. We'll see what it's all about. Don't ruin the surprise. X-Files, I believe. No, it was not X-Files. Gosh, why can't I did season 2. Season 2 goes back. It's the mom from Walking Dead. And all like the local politicians had basically agreed, and they had access to these ships, and they led the alien invasion. And then season 3, they moved the show back to Canada or out to Canada. First season, I forget, they were somewhere else. They brought it to LA to shoot season 2. I can't remember the it's not the Wall, it's I don't know. I might have to look it up. Fun show to shoot. I had a good time. Karen was crazy, but fun. So I went to vote wearing a Trump shirt. I see the grandma that went to vote. They told her she couldn't wear it, so she took it off and marched it in bra and voted. That's funny. I don't know that most people realize that you can't wear political gear. And I do think it's interesting too that the MAGA hat, the Make America Great Again hat, that slogan, right, is considered political. Doesn't support a candidate. It's like, could you wear a comma LA shirt in? Is that, like that actually is her name. There's nothing that says Trump on a MAGA hat. I think they'd have the same complaint if you wore just a plain red hat into vote, right? The Walking Dead spin-off. No, it wasn't the Dome. Yeah, here, give me a second here. It's gonna kill me too in a second when I do look it up. I think it was one of those lesser known shows. I don't know what network. It wasn't on AMC. I don't remember even what network it was on. That's awful. Like so much of the Hollywood, not so much of some of the Hollywood stuff. Like you just can't remember every show. But like I used to be able to sort of remember shots that I did and the details of certain shots. That for some reason that stuff sticks with me. Let's see here. It always wants to bring up Chris Brown, which it's so different, but they've absolutely... That is so bizarre. Why does it do that? It's like he owns the internet because he's got an N on his name. Chris, there we go. I have to pull up my own credits to just double check. That's absolutely pathetic. Let's see here. Colony. That's the show. Colony TV series. Hell, I can't remember 3 minutes ago why we were talking about this. But good fun cast. Josh Holloway played Will Bowman, 36 episodes. Sarah Wayne Callies. She's wonderful too. The whole cast on this show was a very enjoyable cast to work with. But yeah, I did season 2. The show The 100, if you haven't seen it, pretty good series. Takes a little bit to get going, but interesting concept, and they did a good job with it for the most part. Yeah. Best regards. Gee, Abbott, I think you should start a fashion channel. It might be right up your alley. Maybe you can combine it with pot smoking. I don't know. Remember the last time I suggested you start a YouTube channel? And you did. And look how successful it's become. You know, you showed me. Yeah. I've seen more American flags at Kamala rallies than I have in a long time in any Democrat. I absolutely have. You're absolutely right. And thank God you're like becoming patriotic and believing in this country. Now, if you'd start making decisions as if you actually believed it. But the thing is you don't. You say one thing to get votes, you do another. Look at every Democrat city from the time before I was born till now. things are supposed to get better, G, not worse. These American cities that are run by Democrats, people like Kamala Harris, only get worse. Only get worse. They're not honest. They're not honest about the problems. I'm seeing it here in Hagerstown. Hold on. You got to see this. You got to see this. Let's see. Let's see if I can do this. And pull up this. Let's see if I can pull this up this way. Check this out. So, I was on my way home from work on Friday, and I realized I was going by the boba place, and the unicorn loves boba. So I was like, I'm going to stop and get boba. Turns out it was Thunder in the Square that night. And it had gotten canceled because of the... oh, wait, come back here. Because of the hurricane. And so they pushed it off for a month. So downtown, in the center of town square, is this little boba shop. And we had been downtown Hagerstown for the Mummers Parade last week. We went down. And I noticed something interesting, which is this. Let me see if this works. iPad. Oh, it's not the iPad. Will it work if I do this? No, because that doesn't do that. Let me do this. Let me see if I can change this piece here. Come on now. Bring to front. And then I'm going to do this. I got to switch my source here. If I can. It's not letting me. It's not letting me. Let me do this. Boop, 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 boop. Let me see. Not that camera. We need a different camera. We need a source, which is my iPhone. Oh. Okay. That's going to work, but I can open it up here. Do this. Okay. All right, here it is. So check this out. This is a parking meter. You guys have seen a parking meter, right? Hopefully you've seen a parking meter. This one is special. The thing is, it is special in not a good way. It is busted open. And as it turns out, just about every single parking meter in downtown Hagerstown is busted out in this same way. And then somebody put tape around the bottom. I don't know if the city did that. I don't know what the purpose is of that. Now, the warning no parking sign is for the Thunder in the Square event. So I took some video. Let's check this out. I haven't gone through this video. I don't know what you're going to see, but it is parking meter video because I noticed this and I put my bobas in the car and then I went because it hit me when I went in and I put the money, I could hear it hit the cup and I realized, oh shit, the meter's broken. And then I had a question for myself. Do I take the coins out of the meter that I just put into the meter? That would be stealing, right? I should pay for parking. Right? So I had this dilemma. And in the end, I left the 50 cents worth of quarters in the parking meter, which was roughly 30 minutes of parking, for somebody else to come by and take the coins out of the parking meter that doesn't have a lock on it anymore because they were all broken into. And, but at least morally, I did the right thing, I felt. Just not true. It's just not true. It's Democrats, man. They are deceptive, dicey, fucking dishonest motherfuckers. I think we've all wanted to slap you, G. I'll be honest. We've all had that time, especially Gra. Like, if you rub anybody the wrong way more than anyone, is Gra. Now you're going to run over and go, oh, they're violent right-wingers over in WYSIWYG's chat. No, you're just a bitch sometimes, G. And you know that. I know. Throw the thumbs down. I see them. Just fucking hit the thumbs down. It's great. It doesn't matter. There are Dems that are Christian. Yes, there's no doubt. But this is that game you like to play, G. Take a 5-minute timeout. Gra, give her a 5-minute timeout, and we're gonna watch peacefully this little crappy video that I shot with my iPhone of a parking meter or two, a couple parking meters maybe, some parking meters. Watch, check this out. I get a weird interview here for a minute. Can you hear this? Let's see. Oh yeah, I gotta turn it up a little bit. Oh, this is just a little short clip on that one, just showing the parking meter, right? And then there's this. You can see in the back there.
Every single one of them lost the whole way down and around the corner.
I noticed the other day when I was down here, they were all done that way.
An accidental interview
From the bus stop down here, you know.
Yeah.
And the street that
I wasn't
comes up,
prepared for this.
every damn one of these is popped open.
So, like, I put money in the meter. It's, you know.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's a good thing to do. Yeah.
But
Look, there's a ticket.
it's like, are they still ticketing? Because this car's got a ticket right here. But like, if you pull up and you see this, are you going to put money in it?
Exactly.
Now, like, I know the tactic of like bagging them and saying, "Oh, it's broken," and
That's what they
therefore
do in
that's why
LA,
they
right?
take the
They
meter.
bag it and they say, "Oh, it's broken," and they jam it with glue. And
Yeah, they're all. I
destroy
can
the
see them
parking
all the way up
meters.
and down, but somebody's taped them, which is weird, as though that was like going to fix it. Very strange. Have a good one.
All right. So the question remains: should we have parking meters? Street mute something, Wizzy. I don't see what. Mute something, Pamela G. I'm not sure what. Was the audio too loud on the video while I was talking over it? Probably. Might have been. I thought maybe you could hear me. Anyway, should we have parking meters? Personal responsibility, Crick Day says. Yeah, that's definitely should have personal responsibility. Do I think a small town like Hagerstown needs parking meters? Fuck no. That's the last thing Hagerstown needs. In fact, I think just get rid of the parking meters and just allow people to park wherever they need to, just to get people down. Nobody comes to downtown Hagerstown. Our businesses don't exist. What businesses are down there are dying so fast. They can't do anything. There's restaurants down there. They're not surviving because the video had a bad echo. Oh, interesting. I don't know what would cause that, honestly, Fry. I bet you I know why. It's funny because Fry, because you're a tech person. I've been using iPhone mirroring in the iOS to broadcast my iPhone. And there I had to plug it in because it was almost dead. And I wanted to show you that video without sending stuff someplace. So I plugged it in where I've had the iPad running. And so I've caused a little bit of an audio issue. Because I've been running this iPad to do videos and things just because I'm trying to not overwhelm my laptop. So it's interesting. Heather says, yeah, no reason for meters there. I don't think there is. Take them out. At this point, the city can't afford to put new meters in, right? And it just, you don't need to charge for parking. There's no reason to. Downtown's not that busy. Stop wasting money on bullshit, and you don't need. Drove the business out of Tacoma because of the parking meters. I believe it. One, I think they're ugly. Is the city of Hagerstown safe? How's the crime? No, we've had a lot of murders here, actually. Like, as somebody coming from LA, I'm surprised. And let me give you an example. So I did a brief stint working for the post office and tried out being a letter carrier. I enjoyed certain parts of it. Anyway, I was given a lot of different routes to run while I was there and learning the post office. And one of the routes that they gave me was Jonathan Street, which is one of the roughest areas in Hagerstown. However, and all the people at the post office sort of apologized to me like, oh, we're sorry to send you to such a dangerous area. I'm like, what? This is Hagerstown. This is not LA. There's places in LA I will not go. Hagerstown doesn't even come close. Hagerstown is a great town with a lot of diversity and a lot of people in a small town. It is hub city, and Jonathan Street has a ton of history. There was a 95-year-old woman, Mrs. Brown, oddly enough, that I would deliver mail to. She lives in a subdivision. Some of you might refer to it as, I don't know, some different type of housing. Doesn't matter. It was a neighborhood off of Jonathan Street. And they had mailboxes that were out on the street. And her mailbox, you would take her mail directly to her. And Mrs. Brown was a lovely older lady, 95 years old. And she was very sweet. And I miss her. I met some of the other characters on Jonathan Street. And there was a group of older black men that would be on the porch when I would deliver mail. And I always enjoyed spending a few moments with them. I would have a lot to deliver in a big area and a lot of walking. But I always enjoyed hanging out with them for a few minutes and just seeing what was going on. They were looking for their checks on most days, and we'd joke about it. And, you know, I kind of knew what to look for. There are no strip clubs in Hagerstown for Tony. There was one in Funkstown, but that's gone. Maybe due to COVID, I've heard. You have to go out of Hagerstown if that's what you're into, Troy. West Virginia, I heard, is pretty good for that stuff. But since I've been here, there's been a number of murders. There's been a number of drug busts. Is Hagerstown bad? Not compared to LA, but Hagerstown is not what it should be for being a small town in Maryland that is a blue state, right? That has a small town police department that has pretty good resources, apparently. So I don't know. People complain about the dangers of being downtown. I think those dangers are relative to your experience, right? There are a lot of drugs. I had a hooker wave at me at 4:00 in the morning on my way to work. So I thought, I thought I'd left a lot of that behind, but apparently sex and drugs and those things go to small towns and they do not get prosecuted. They do not get dealt with. Liam from 482 Forward Action, an education organizing group in Detroit fighting for our public schools, wants me to vote Democrat in Detroit. Just in case you guys were wondering. Constantly. Michigan, California, Maryland. I don't want to. She's yelling at me again, you guys. So it's a relative thing is my point. But the city of Hagerstown Police Department has a number of cameras up around town. And I'll be honest, I think they probably know exactly who fucked up all those meters downtown. But, so Lori, I am less than a half an hour drive from Camp David. Had I been there, I would tell you that it is one of the most lovely, nicest federal parks I've ever been to, with incredibly beautiful rough sawn wood siding on the buildings in a matte colored. It's not an olive drab. It's more gray than olive drab, but I would also tell you that it's an incredibly beautiful property. And if I had been in the gift store, I'd tell you how fucking cool it was. That even the press, the Democrat press, when they were there with Joe Biden, didn't have access to. Because I read the article that was up on the wall in the most, what's the word I'm looking for? The most exclusive gift store. If you want to read the article about the gift store, I think it was, just look up the most exclusive gift store in the world article, and they'll tell you all about it. But they had to take the gift store to the part of the property that, according to the story, that the press was allowed in. But yeah, it's cool. It's beautiful up on the mountain. All surrounded by State Park, which you can go to and walk around. Oh, cool, Lori. I got something for the unicorn. I didn't get anything for myself. Only because we were doing a camping trip, and I thought she'd have a special camping shirt. So, but great group of people, if I were to have to say that. But yeah. But I'm a Fed, so you know how it goes. Potomac Speedway. Really? I'll have to look into that. I feel like I've heard that, but I don't know where that is. I wish I knew where that was. Potomac Speedway. Oh. Budds Creek. Maryland International Raceway? Wait. No. Potomac Speedway's south of DC, southeast of DC. What? I must have missed a. I hadn't heard of that. Anything? I felt like I knew where all the racetracks were nearby. But yeah, we got to feed the fish and saw the putting green. Oh, nice, very nice. My goodness. Are we excited for Tuesday? Is anybody looking for, like, I swear I remember 2 years ago, like it was yesterday. I don't really know what it was about it, but I feel like 2 years ago I was going, man, we're 2 years from the election. Are we going to make it? Oh, we made it. Congratulations for making it almost. Well, we got 2 more days to not make it, I guess, but chibi. Lisa's fed up. That's funny. People, you might be, Fry. Who knows, man? It's all like, what does it matter? My neighbors are fed. I like, there's lots of feds. Like the guy down the street, he's a fed. The federal government hires way too many people. That we've determined. And if we're lucky, we'll see Elon Musk come in and efficientize, create some efficiency within the federal government, which it needs, which means those people are going to be out of jobs. But guess what? They're going to find some other jobs. Gee, what are they going to be doing? Coding, maybe, if we're lucky. Maybe building stuff. We need people to build homes. We need electricians. We need people in the, because as you know, we don't have that. We get a lot of unskilled labor that comes in that barely understand the electrical code and proper wiring of homes, and doing really half-assed building. Whew, boy, really half-assed building. So yeah, a lot of federal employees to be doing some of that fun stuff. Oh, Tara, we got to work on that. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. But I like Elon. He's a little weird. Sometimes weirdness is good, don't you think? Don't you think just a little bit, right? Remember, autism is a little weird, but I have learned that the autism is sort of the unbridled truth for some, right? True autism doesn't really allow you the ability to lie, tell jokes. But he's got a whole different thing going on. And he's kind of brilliant. Here.
Sorry, I listen to Elon Musk. I follow his lead. The world's smartest, richest man has my attention.
Yep. But yet Kamala, Democrats hate that man for bringing them electric cars, rocket ships. They want to put him in jail. So you tell me who the party of decency and joy is. That doesn't sound like joy at all. Guy makes more electric cars than anyone. And they don't even bring him in as part of the electric car consortium. They leave him out because they don't like his politics. What's fucking wrong with people? Seriously. Flyer? What if? Retired Fed. Glowies all around us. Autism is smart, people. I had a kid at one job that he was autistic, and the job required you to pay attention and focus for safety. And apparently one day he saw a butterfly and chased it off. Oh, that was bad. But he was a really good kid. And once I understood how to help and work with him, we became work partners to a certain extent because nobody else wanted to work with him. And but if you did it correctly, you turn it into a game and you gave importance to what he was doing. And it was fascinating to watch his focus and drive to do exactly what he needed to do. And it was cool. So had a lot of fun trying some different jobs, trying out some different areas that I was not aware of. Oh, Laura. But I bet she's a really cool kid and really interesting. We enjoyed watching Love on the Spectrum, Laura. I don't know if you've seen the show. The honesty, the truthfulness of the young adults looking for love on the show was really interesting to see. So, all right, y'all. I got to go have dinner. I hope you've learned something. I hope maybe I was able to show you something different. I'm not here to bitch about Democrats. I'm just here to call them out and hope they can do better, because we all need that. Everybody needs to do better. We all can do better. Yeah, it's a good one right there. So, all right, for now, Wizzy out. Thanks, everybody. See you on the next one. Bye now.